Hey guys, Coach Keith Keppner here, and we're going to go through Instagram for another running through boxing Instagram videos. Some of them are whatever, some of them are great. Going to give my opinions. To be clear, I'm not doing this to rag on anyone or trash on anyone. It's all meant for fun, but also for, more importantly, educational purposes. Gives me a good opportunity to flesh out some thoughts, ideas, and concepts that might benefit you in your training. By the way, why should you listen to me? My name is Coach Keith Keppner. I've been a professional amateur boxing coach for 15 plus years. I've taken many fighters from complete nothing to elite levels. I was mentored as a coach and as a fighter by my father, Doc Keppner, who was a professional boxing coach for multiple decades. And then he was mentored as a coach and as a fighter by Chuck Bodak. And Bodak worked with over 50 world champions, and he was the Olympic coach for Muhammad Ali. Now, let's jump into it. Have some fun. First one, obviously, this is Mike Tyson. So cool. It's people doing Mike Tyson stuff real quick before we play. I know people harped on hey, play the whole video before you comment it. Whatever. I'm going to do what I do, brother. But check us out. Watch Mike's connection. There we go. Oh my gosh, look at that. If you want to land a great left hook to the body, do it like this. The palm is facing him. The palm is slightly up. All right. If you want a destructive left hook to the body, throw it just like that with the placement. Brilliant. Let's see if they did it just like Mike. Now, if you see, it's a good one. It's not a bad hook. He's not slapping. Palm could be a little bit more up with that connection point. Let's see her. She's so fast, I can barely see it. Looks like her placement's actually maybe a little bit better. And it's important to stick it a little bit. Now that one, while it's not necessarily boxing applicable, it is good to just get your feet moving. It is kind of a funny drill. And I've had people do it, believe it or not. But it helps with explosiveness of feet, rotating the core. Jumping rope, yep, everyone does it. Sit-ups, great. Yep. Ugh. The neck bridges that Mike Tyson would do, I'm going to venture to say did not help him not have neck pain for the rest of his life, which I guess I've heard him say he has or has had. Going all the way back like that on the neck is very, 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 very bad for your neck. Definitely doing bridges is good, but do it through controlled range. You don't need to put that much pressure on the discs and everything else. Seems like the ladies doing a little bit more of a conservative version, which would be better in my opinion. Also, as well, that's only working, the traps and the rear part of the neck muscles, as opposed to also you need to turn around and do it on the front of your head as well. All right, let's go on to the next one. Long guard mechanics.
When the opponent throws rear hand.
By Skriller Squirrel.
When the opponent.
Skrillbox is a great channel. I know a lot of you guys that watch my stuff watch them. A lot of good stuff. So, of course, I have different ideas as far as terminology and some critiques, but I'm sure they would of me as well.
Throws rear hand shots from the same side as your extended.
Okay, so long guard mechanics. In my opinion, long guard truly is, if you know something about boxing, extending both arms out a little bit. Think of more of like a Larry Holmes type of position, or even a Muhammad Ali. Not necessarily one hand back to this on the side of the face like you're holding the telephone, and just the left hand extended. All right. And this is why, again, I would just say it's having your lead hand out, but also everything that's talked about here, it applies to the jab philosophy that I talk about of what you do when you're jabbing and why the jab is the most important punch, and also the safest punch defensively.
When the opponent throws rear hand shots from the same side as your extended lead hand, they will often be parried or blocked by the traffic created by that lead hand.
True. So that was an example of blocked, but then also Klitschko doing his wrestling. And that's a great example of why going under, like, for instance, nowadays Usyk does with opposite stance opponent, is so important. Going under and that allows you to go over because then they go down as you go under, et cetera, right?
Body shots from that side are usually defended by stepping back, often while posting with the lead hand. On the
Now, is it just me, or did I hear that punch hit something? Right? Did you hear that? Listen closely. Let's turn it up a little bit. Right? So, absolutely agreed on the point, but this is why I don't do a lot of video, like clips and demonstrations, because oftentimes you'll see something, you'll be like, oh, it's a great example of it. And then you put it up, and when you watch it, and you've done boxing for a long time, you're like, oh, man, that actually didn't quite exactly do the point I was demonstrating. And then it's going to involve going through a whole bunch of fights, and oh my Lord. Big credit to Skriller Boxing and all the other channels that go through and find all of these moments. I really wonder how they categorize it. I guess they're not coaching boxers, so maybe they got more time to do it. Or maybe they do coach boxers. I don't know.
The other side.
Right, but anyway, agreed on the concept.
When the opponent throws lead hand shots from the same side as your rear hand will be used to catch, block, or parry any incoming.
Yes. That rear hand did neither of the two, but that's okay. Right? Am I being too persnickety, guys? Let me know.
Block.
But that didn't hit anything. The range was what did it. He was ready for it. To Skriller Boxing point, he was ready for it. But he could have had that hand down by his waist. It wouldn't have made a lick of difference.
Or parry any incoming shots.
It didn't parry. It definitely didn't parry it. Now there it did. So here against, oh my gosh, Dawson. The right hand glove open, by the way. I see so many people, they do their defense with their glove closed. Nope, glove open just like Andre. Here.
Body shots on this side can also be defended by stepping back and posting, or by blocking / parrying with the rear hand. Offensively.
Now, one thing is important to keep in mind with posting. You see how like Bivol has his arm slightly bent. Remember, if you lock the arm, then it is illegal. Extending the arm out, there's no rule in boxing that says you can't extend your arm out as long as you're not pushing. It's just the rule is you can't lock the elbow joint. So a good nuance to remember and know.
This guard is mostly used from outside.
So now again, this is, in my opinion, not a long guard. This is kind of lead hand interference or extending your left out or your jab or jabbing, right? To me, a more standard, when I think of long guard and long guard mechanics, I'm thinking about both arms out in front a little bit more. But again, am I being nitpicky? I don't know. Whatever.
Range.
Great work with that left hand. And good examples of, I'm big on teaching how to do double jabs and multiple jabs while shooting the arm all the way out and bringing it back, but also this type of jab is very effective and important. This is little half jabs to set up the right hand or left hook. Nice body work. All right. Thank you, Skrill Boxing.
This is the secret to knocking out Floyd Mayweather. This is the secret to knocking
out Floyd
Mayweather.
Well, that didn't do it, but
one of Floyd's favorite moves is the pull counter, where he leans forward to bait an opponent into throwing a jab. Then he pulls to avoid it and comes back with a right hand as a counter. But Maidana came prepared, and he was pressuring Floyd. Floyd leans forward to bait the jab, and Maidana throws it. But when Floyd pulls, Maidana follows up with a right overhand while ducking below Floyd's counter, rocking Floyd and maybe knocking out a tooth.
Now, so to be clear on terms, this isn't an overhand punch, truly. I mean, that's a straight right hand. You know what the difference is? Is he brings his head off line like you most of the time should with a straight right hand. Connects nice with the knuckles right in the nose and the mouth. Kind of right in that area in between. Brilliant. Wonderful connection. But that's what that's about. So here, and what's great, though, as well, is that Mayweather, his head is off of line of where it was. Right, so when that jab came, his head's right there. It's kind of hard to tell from the side. And then he brings his head off to the side a little bit. And that's where Maidana adjusted and shot the right hand a little bit to that side. Very important nuance there. So Maidana brought his head offline and adjusted for Mayweather's head coming offline. And that's an example of how there is no move that is a cure-all. There is always a move for a move. And that's what makes boxing so great. And any good game or sport so great.
A lot of people do
That's
this,
Eddie Chambers.
right? So, one, you see that? You see what I just did? Turning myself, put myself in this position.
A lot of people do that, 100%. So many people all day long are blocking hooks where they're literally almost putting themselves in an opposite position as far as their opposite stance as far as their torso is concerned.
See what I just did? Turning myself, put myself in this position, thinking, oh, okay, I'm blocking the hook, right? But then the right hand is coming. And this is a big combination. There's a combination to get a lot of people. If you throw it, and you over rotate for that right hand, it's kind of, it's a dangerous situation. So the thing would be to do, Don't do it. So no, what I'm saying is, don't over rotate, over respect, pay attention to the hook, because the right hand is a likely option. So what I would say is, if you're gonna catch it, like throw the 1-3, sit on it, don't go here. Sit on it, boom, let the hook come, and then the right hand come behind it, the left hand be in position. Go, do it again. You see that? And then I'm ready to return after.
Yep. So it's funny, the guy said don't do it, and he kind of disagreed with him.
Would be to
like,
do.
yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. So no, what I'm saying is, don't over rotate, over respect,
Yeah, and also the trouble is with rotating at all, because, you know, in his demonstration, I agree with him 100%. His position here, he's a little bit square, which is totally fine. Not one to judge Fast Eddie Chambers for his boxing position. You know, he's a little bit square with his torso, and that's all right. But so from here, he catches that jab, right? See his body position, see his torso. He blocks the hook. He opened up, all right? Now let's see him do it again. Now watch. Catches a jab. Blocked the hook, and he barely opened up, if at all. From this position to this position, it's almost non-existent. All right? Now, let's have him do it again. So here, boom, boom. Now, one challenge with this position here that I'm not a fan of is if the hook comes around a little bit more, if you don't bring the hand back more, the right hand back more, then it will slide around. Versus if you would have stayed sided up and just brought the rear hand to the side of your face, you stop it and also are able to keep the elbow in more to defend against if it was a body shot, if you misread it. Because right here, you're wide open for the left hook for the body. Now, I included this one because you will see guys on social media, wherever, all day. That's the next one. All day talk about, oh man, don't ever cross your feet. Well, here this dude just went from here to here. There was a foot cross somewhere at some point, right? Or he moves around here, like that. Let's see. There's a good example. I think right there was a foot cross. Right there, yep. Feet are crossed right now. Oh, you're going to get knocked out if your feet are crossed all day. I had this one piece of work literally get up all on my DMs and everything else because I was holding mitts for somebody in a video, and I crossed my feet. Like, I'm just walking around holding mitts. I'm relaxing. I do this all the time. So I ain't got to freaking move like a boxer nonstop when I hold mitts for someone. But again, I don't know what I'm talking about because I crossed my legs for a second because I was walking around for a moment holding mitts. But of course, again, this is the example of where boxing is an art form, and it's all about what is effective. You can try to do what is correct or perfect, but at the end of the day, just to straw man my point with the video before with Eddie, you can do that block all day, and Eddie has done that block all day. Has he ever got caught off that block? Maybe, maybe not. And if he hasn't, whatever. But if you're getting caught off of it, then here's some thoughts about how to fix it. All right. Ultimate power comes from planting your feet flat on the floor. Now let's clarify though. He is turning his back foot. See that back foot right there, turn, right there, turn. So those are important things to consider. But the big thing I want to address, he is a little bit lead foot heavy here, is his connection point. So many people get this wrong, all right? They'll focus on all this other stuff, the debate about should you pivot on left hook, should you not pivot on left hook, blah, 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 blah. Okay, at the end of the day, what is the thing that takes the power that you're producing and transfers it to your opponent or the bag or whatever? It is your fist. So how does your fist connect? That is actually the most important thing because, like, one, if you backhand people, that's illegal in boxing. But two, if you slap, if you paw, everything's going to be less effective. If you watch how he connects, let's see if I can get it on the connection point. One is that left hook is just like Tyson's left hook we talked about. There it is again. There is his right hook to the body. See that? Palm is slightly up, facing him. Good connection point. Let's see one of his right hooks up top. Loading up his right hooks a little bit, but, you know. There we go. Look at that connection, right? Wrist is slightly bent. Palm is up. Hitting with his knuckles. Like I said, he's a little lead foot heavy. But again, look at this hook right here with the connection point of the fist. Palm is slightly up because it's below his head. If it was his head height, they would be just facing him and not slightly up. And he's connecting with those knuckles. So important. Here's another good one here. Boom, look at that. Snapping that bag in. Hip rotation, a little bit of foot rotation. Again, not overly doing it, though. Not pivoting the foot just to pivot the foot. He's turning his body, and that's forcing the foot to turn. All right, let's go to the next one. Great Lomos technique. Nice slip. One thing on that slip, he's here, and if you watch him, he does a perfect slip. Let's just watch the whole thing, right, before I hear it in the DMs. All right, let's analyze. So Lomo, here he is. Relatively sided up, his hands are up high. He slips down. If you notice, it's a bend of the waist and a bend of the knees. It's not a rotation. That's what allows him to get the timing and not bring the head further away from the punch as he slips it, right? So he's here, and if he's further away, it's by half an inch, maybe an inch maximum. And that allows him to get off this punch as his opponent was trying to deliver a punch. Watch his opponent's left hand. His opponent was trying to do something, and he got caught because, see that? He was trying to throw a punch. Lomo, because he shot in between that half timing that I talk about, got that shot off. If he would have dipped lower than he did or rotate his body more, right? If he would have turned to his rear side and done the slip that sometimes people talk about doing, it wouldn't have worked. He wouldn't have got the right timing on it. Now also look at his connection point. That is a perfect connection point of a straight punch. His elbow is slightly bent, not super bent, slightly bent. Elbow is popped up a little bit. Popped up meaning it's lined up with the fist. All right? Boom. Excellent. And with this one, it's a good example of him having his guy in this position here and just shooting the shot off. Bam. And same thing here as well, lining it all up nice. All right, let's go for the next one. Whoopsie daisy. Now, it's funny. 20 years ago, not that nobody did this, but nowadays, whenever someone thinks about an angle, they think about this. And it's important I like how actually this guy is saying it's a shifting angles, right? Because when people say angle, they think automatically it's this move. Like, this is an angle, right? The big thing is your head, if you look at where his head is not coming off quote-unquote line. It's dropping levels, right? So he's dipping, but it's just right there, the same place that weight is, all right? And that's why this move is, has limitations. Every move has limitations, but it has more limitations than if you were to cut a natural, typical angle. But again, I like how he's saying shifting angles, because yes, if someone's saying like a shift angle type move, and then like he does later, he brings his head offline with the punch, see that? Then cool. But if we're not specifying shifting angles and I'm saying just, cut some angles on somebody, I don't mean do this like whatever, swingy thing where you end up staying right there. Oftentimes.
Banded exercises to build power. Number 1, banded hooks. Number 2, banded landmine punch. And number 3, banded jumps. Save and try later.
I like this a lot. I like this
3
one a lot.
explosive banded exercises
I don't think
to
I've
build
seen this
power.
one before. This is very good because
Number
it's
1.
very, very applicable. You could even put on gloves and hit mitts or hit a bag with this. So I like that. That might be something I need to test out because I like it. And again, that's what's so cool about nowadays is you get to see so many things. There's a downside to that because there's so much junk in the system, but there's an upside, little nuances, different ways. We've all used bands and stuff like this, but I haven't done it in this exact way, so that's pretty cool.
Banded hooks. Number 2, banded.
And landmines are great, and the benefit of the band is that it allows you to not feel like you have to decelerate at all at the end. Because a good punch, you shouldn't try to decelerate at the end. Sometimes when you're lifting something, you feel like you have to decelerate it because if it keeps going, it's going to hyperextend your elbow and things like that. The band can help you just push through all the way to the end and explode all the way to the end. So
Landmine
I like it as
punch.
well.
And number 3, banded jumps.
And that's good for extra resistance. Maybe if you're going through a periodized model, we've already done jumps for a while, and then you want to add this in, that would be great. But then also putting depth jumps in there where you're jumping off a box onto a taller box would also be the similar idea of adding more resistance. But yeah, that's all cool. Doing banded squats with a weight might be better if you want to periodize through increasing the resistance. That's good though. Really cool.
Start with
All
this.
right.
A lot of people want to get in here and hit it, and then they try to hit it again and not work. So you got to keep your nice balance, get on your toes, and first, before even learning how to hit it, just touch. Just touch. Just trying to bounce, let them hands bounce and feel it. You have to calibrate. No double end bag in gyms are the same tightness. There's no tie at 3 ropes, tie at 4, get a rope. No. Everybody's double end bag is slightly different. It could be close, but it's slightly different. So you kind of just want to bounce. Then snap, 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 snap. And just get a nice little rhythm.
Nice. Now, I saw this video. It's been out for a while, and it struck me as perhaps maybe the only video you will ever need on how to hit a speed bag, because he talks about all the points so eloquently. Start off first. I did this the other day where someone asked me about the speed bag, and dumb me, when I box, I never hit a speed bag, right? I hit it speed bag. Goodness gracious, excuse me, double end. Ooh, okay. Double end bag. Speed bag, same. I never hit a speed bag when I boxed. I only learned to hit a speed bag after I opened up a gym, because people were like, where's the speed bag, bro? And I was like, well, you don't need a speed bag. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess so people just stop asking, I'll get a speed bag. So I put a speed bag on the wall. And I was like, well, I know the idea of how to hit it, but I don't really know how to hit it. So I sat there, practiced for a while. It's funny, my wife knew how to hit a speed bag way better than me. And over time, got it down so now I can hit a speed bag. So I can tell people how to hit a speed bag. And then it's like, okay, well, I guess, that's one of the biggest things that people that know something about boxing know, is that It doesn't matter how well you can hit speed bag. It doesn't matter how well you can jump rope, right? It matters how well you can box, how well you can fight. Speed bag, jump rope, some of the things that you can spend a lot of time to get good at that are not going to be reflective in your boxing performance. Double M bag may be more reflective than a speed bag, but whatever, that's another topic. Anyway, made this mistake the other day. Someone was asking how to work the double M bag, and I made that sucker super tight in our gym, and I started off first thinking I knew the timing, and I was doing what he did at the beginning, and then I went back to the touch, got the rhythm, and then you do that halftime rhythm, and then you put it together, ba, 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 and that's how you get it. One way that I describe it too is it's like bouncing a basketball. People, when they hit a speed bag, double M bag, try to slam it and hit it hard, and they get tighter as they go. You just got to get that rhythm with a little touch, get the timing, and then start building from there. Really, it's about the only video you ever need. People talk about the speed bags. Oh, man, the double M bag is the only bag that hits you back, right? That hits you back. Not really. You have to have a pretty loose speed bag, or I guess you have to really crack it, or be really close to it. But if you're extending your punches quite a bit and you're at a longer range on the speed bag, it's never going to fly in a position where it's going to hit you. And there are things that happen as people learn how to roll punches and to try to cheat the system to hit the double M bag. I've probably said speed bag already a few times wrong, and everything else. But at the end of the day, it's a cool tool, good for timing. Where I have found that double M bag, good to get the idea of rhythm and timing, good to get the idea of hitting a moving target, good to get the idea of not trying to muscle your punches and just connect, right? That's all the value of it. Oh, and then there's one more value, and that's to break the monotony of training. Training, when you've been doing it for years and 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 years, gets boring as hell sometimes. Adding stuff like this in can make your life more sustainable, more enjoyable, and hopefully not take away or maybe add a little bit to your boxing training. That wraps it up for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you watch out for the next one. If you want to work with me, jump on the Patreon page, click on there, and if you want to message me on Instagram, message me there, and I'll see you on the next one, guys.